Welcome to AnjuliTV. I'm Anjuli Velazquez. On this episode, I would like to talk about my top 5 favorite shows of all time. I like to switch it up every week, sometimes talk about new shows, other times talk about old shows. And when I was trying to figure out my top 5 favorites, the top 4 came to me right away. But number 5 was a little more tricky. It could have been a few different shows. One that it could have been was Castle, because I love that show, and Nathan Fillion, I think he's hilarious. It could have been that 70s show, because that's another good one. But then I started to think about, what is it really that makes it a good show? What makes it my favorite? What are the qualities they need to have? In my opinion, what makes a good show is how involved you are with these characters and how involved you can get with these characters and the storyline. If I watch the same episode multiple times and still laugh or cry or feel something, then it's a good show and becomes one of my favorites. When you get amazing actors playing these great characters and brilliant writers keeping things new and exciting, and passionate and dedicated directors and producers who make sure it all comes together nicely, you get an awesome show, i.e., a favorite. So, for number 5, I decided on Sex and the City. Sex and the City is a great show that produced 2 great movies so far. And you know a show's good when you can get people to want to see their stories continue 2 years after the show finished. And you even have more fans than the show had. These women in this show are so different, but are best friends and are always there for each other, and we get to see it. We feel for Carrie and her on and off again relationship with Big, and we fall in love with Aiden right there with her. I also love it because it's a real woman's perspective on dating, sex, and men, which is nice to see. Number 4 is a recent favorite of mine, Bones. I'm not sure why I didn't start watching this show when it first came out, but I do love David Boreanaz, and although I love him as Angel, it's nice to see a non-vampire-y side of him. This show is different than other crime dramas because our duo are an FBI agent and a forensic anthropologist, and it's based off a real person, Kathy Reichs, which makes it even more cool. The show is so good. It's like you want Bones and Booth to hook up, but also kind of not. At least I don't really. I really like Booth, obviously, and I don't think Bones is good enough for him. She doesn't even believe in love or relationships, and he does. He should be with someone who'd appreciate him and actually love him, which I did see a clip from Comic-Con this year that they're creating a love interest for Booth's character, so we'll see how that goes with Bones and everything. Number 3 is Grey's Anatomy. I started watching this show midway through season 3 because my old roommate in Tampa, Jamie, watched the show, and I started watching it with her. I instantly liked it and went out and bought seasons 1 and 2 and watched them straight through. I love Meredith and McDreamy, and I'm so happy that they're finally together and we can just be happy for them. I do miss Isaiah Washington as Dr. Burke because I thought he was excellent. And I liked him and Christina together. I also miss George and Izzy, but shows evolve and actors leave, so, you know, I get it. Number 2. It's a good one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I vividly remember being 12 years old in the 7th grade when this show first premiered on the WB in 1997. I did see the movie with Christy Swanson and Luke Perry, and I did like the cheesy and campiness of it. So I was pretty psyched for the show when I heard it was coming out. And yes, season 1 of Buffy is still both cheesy and campy, but it gets better and the actors get better as the show progresses. I love this show and could go on and on about it, so I think I'll just dedicate an episode of AnjuliTV to be strictly Buffy. But this was the first show that I really saw a female role model. Buffy was a few years older than me and in high school and pretty and kicked ass, so I pretty much idolized her and completely fell in love with Angel. I am partial to the first 3 seasons. That's when I stopped watching it back in the day after Angel left, so those are my favorites, although I really like season 4 too. I have gone back and watched the entirety of the show, seasons 1 through 7, and Angel seasons 1 through 5 on Netflix, which, side note, is one of the best creations ever made. I love Netflix. $9 a month, and you can watch as many TV shows and movies online or get the DVDs as you'd like. It's awesome. Back to Buffy. I love it. And I do have some issues with some things, but all in all, this is definitely my number 2 fave, and always will be. Number 1, this was a no-brainer. It's Friends. Yes, Friends is the best show ever. This ensemble cast is so awesome, and they are so funny. I never get sick of watching Friends, any episode from any season. My favorites, though, are the later ones, seasons 6 through 9. In season 6, we have 3 episodes with the man, aka Mr. Bruce Willis. Doesn't get better than that. Friends is so funny and witty and still can make you cry. The whole engagement scene part with Monica and Chandler at the end of season 6, I still cry. And at the end of the series, when Ross and Rachel finally get back together, oh my god, I still cry in that episode too. It's so good. When I'm upset for any reason, I can pop in any one of my DVDs, and yes, I do own them all, and it makes everything better. It's just greatness. Well, that's it. My top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. Thanks for watching. That's it for this episode of AnjuliTV. I'm Anjuli Velazquez, and I'll see you in the next video.